Kyle, good to see you. I'm going to start with a question. What is a retirement drawdown strategy? Because I know that you have 4 tips to help make sure our money lasts. So, of course, we spend decades building our nest egg. Then, when we retire, we need a plan to stop saving and start spending, but not spending so much that we risk running out of money. So, again, I know you have these 4 tips to share. The first one being we need a plan to minimize taxes.
Hi, Erin. Absolutely. It's a great topic. And, you hear the words retirement income planning, and the word drawdown may seem a little scary, but in effect, that is what you're doing when you do retire and you make
Mhm.
that transition, right? From saving all the time to spending that money, you're drawing down the savings in the accounts. And right now, and we've talked about this before, taxes are technically on sale. I mean, they're
Right.
they're at a lower effective rate than they have been in times past, especially recently. And it does open up the door to do a little bit of planning, especially when it comes to the Roth. Little things that you can do all the time, which are, hey, if I'm in a lower tax bracket or near zero, it's an opportunity to start drawing down some of your pre-tax balances at near
Mhm.
zero rates. If you're not doing that, why not? That's probably not going to be around. And just a whole bunch of stuff that you can do right now.
Right, especially because we've seen the nation's debt. We know taxes are probably going to go up. So let's talk about number 2. Of course, you need to make the right decision about claiming Social Security, but this can be overwhelming. There are so many permutations.
Yeah, Social Security, if you crunch the numbers, there's an analysis that you can run, a break even concept on yourself. How do I get the most money? We have a joke that we kind of say, and it's not great, but if everyone in your family tree passes away at age 67, don't wait till 68 to turn on your Social Security
Yeah,
benefits.
right.
So
Mhm.
there's a whole longevity aspect, but for us, it all comes back to a plan, building a
Right.
plan, because there's factors that you need to weigh outside of just how can I get the most dollar amount for my Social Security benefit. And there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not as simple as just a spreadsheet necessarily. There's more work involved.
I'm glad you said that because it really should be a conversation with a professional, Kyle. So many people think it's an algorithm and it really kind of isn't. All right, number 3, for those who are lucky enough to have a pension, you need to choose the right pension payout.
This is a big one, especially for married couples, right? It's similar to the Social Security conversation. But really, what happens if one of the two passes away? You need to account for that in your drawdown strategy, because if you've got a life only pension and one spouse has a significantly larger Social Security check, you're only going to get one Social Security check when you lose one spouse in that case. And is a life only pension appropriate in that type of situation? You
Mhm.
need to stop and take a moment and think about it and stress test your plan with that as well.
Right. And number 4, perhaps most important, the delicate balance between guaranteed income and long-term growth.
Right. This is a big one. If you've got a savings that you've built up and you've done the numbers, or you've sat down with a pro to see if you can retire, and you've got just enough to retire. Well, what happens about, things getting more expensive, right? Inflation. We've learned
Of
that
course.
lesson, pretty dramatically. You need to find a way to incorporate a plan to participate in economic growth over the long term, because that's your best defense against inflation. Historically, that has been a balanced portfolio invested in the market. You need to have an element of your plan that is doing exactly that. And it's a lot to go through, but it's all important stuff.
Right. And definitely talking through these variables with a professional is incredibly helpful. And again, addresses everybody's number one fear of running out of money, right? It comes down to peace of mind, Kyle. So if somebody would like to have that conversation with you, how can they reach you?
Best way is through our website. That's firstcoastfinancialgroup.com.
All right. Kyle, thanks so much.
Thanks, Aaron.